Greetings to everyone! In this video I will show you my new CD shelf, which I've built from modified IKEA Gnetby units and decorated with 18 meters of Philips Hue LED strip. You may find this video not 100% technical, but I think that there are many CD collectors among my viewers which might find this video useful. Just before I start, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram, or even consider supporting future videos on Patreon. All the links are included in the description. So this is an IKEA Gnetby unit which is perfect for storing your CDs, DVDs or Blu-ray discs. It is designed to be used vertically, but I have a few problems with that. First of all, it looks a bit busy. Also, it would be quite complicated to fit LED backlights if used as designed. And if your shelves were full and you needed to squeeze a new CD somewhere in the middle, you would have to shift all of your discs cell by cell. This could be quite frustrating. So I thought, why don't I use them horizontally? This would eliminate all the problems that I had mentioned before, and as a bonus it would allow me to adjust the width of the unit to match it with the width of my wall. It also allowed me to create extra shelves for DVD and Blu-ray discs. I ran into a few problems during the building process, but it wasn't hard to find a solution. Great, let's start the build. To create the base for the CD shelf, I had to sacrifice one IKEA Gnetby unit. The gap which I needed to fill was 2.4 meters wide, so I used one whole side, which was 2.02 meters long, and with the help of a meter saw, I chopped another 0.38 meters piece. When the base was ready, I could start building the first Gnetby unit on top of it. After screwing one side with the base, the procedure followed the original assembly instructions almost exactly. Wooden pins, locking bolts, partitions, and this tiny front cover. My plan is to install Philips Hue LED strips later, so to make that process easier and keep the amount of connections and cables to a minimum, I made a notch in 2 out of 3 partitions. That will allow me to thread LED tape right through them. After tightening up the partitions with lock bolts, I needed to screw down this upright support, which I have also made from my donor Gnetby unit. Gnetby unit is 200 mm wide, so this part is exactly matching its width. Great, now the back wall. And next goes to sides which I have already screwed together and attached my custom upright support. New layer is now screwed with custom-made upright support. Lock bolts are secured as well. Now I have to repeat exactly the same procedure 8 more times. I managed to make the base and 8 upright support sections from the Gnetby unit that I used as a donor. That is why I made this shelf 9 stories high. I had 8 units originally, but I had used one of them as a donor for extra parts. To achieve the intended height, I had to order 2 more. Fortunately, IKEA still sells them, but not in all regions. I will carry on assembling them with the only difference that an extra step will be required. Two sides need to be screwed together as these are brand new units. Previous ones I've pre-assembled earlier. Great, the main structure is assembled. Now I have to lay the whole unit face down to complete another few tasks. The whole structure became quite heavy, so I asked for 2 extra pairs of hands to help me with that. Sadly, there was no room to set up the camera during that procedure. My little maneuver was successfully completed and I could place these small shelves that were left unused at the back of the unit to add some extra vertical support. I will explain how I expect it to work as soon as I lift the unit back to its vertical position. Another problem that I'm trying to sort out is soundproofing. The thing is that the wall between the living room and the bedroom is quite thin and I can't do anything about it as we are renting this flat. So I will try to make this shelf to work as a sound barrier also. That's why I bought this rubber mat, which I will cut into sections and fill all the voids behind the shelving unit. This roll was 1 meter wide and 8 meters long. That was enough to fill every void with at least 3 layers of rubber mat. Not sure about the result, but I think heavy rubber will help to stop the sound coming through. Alright, now it's time to add another backboard. It will keep vertical supports and rubber mats in place and also will add more rigidness to the whole structure. After I've used almost the whole box of the screws, the backboard was successfully secured. Next, I need to cut out all unneeded parts. These pockets I will use to accommodate controllers for the Philips LED lights. Talking about lights, I have decided to use Philips Hue LED strip. I have used this product before and I was very happy about its performance. The LED strip is quite bright, Hue app has many useful functions and it's really intuitive. And the most important thing is that the light is very pleasant, it doesn't flicker and doesn't look toxic like cheaper products. I managed to get a very attractive deal on Amazon during a Black Friday sale, so in the end the price was quite reasonable. These Y-splits I will use to hook 2 shelves on a single controller. Again, this will keep the number of cables to a minimum. I've considered soldering these connections myself, but the thing is that these solder pads are so tiny it wouldn't be possible to fit a standard ribbon cable there. This CD shelf became quite heavy after I'd added the rubber mats and the backboard, so I had to add additional reinforcement on each side during the lifting process. Now that it's in a vertical position, I can start sticking the tape itself. As you can see, I am threading LED tape through the notch that I have made earlier. For some reason, double-sided tape that is used by Philips consists of a dozen tiny pieces that you have to peel one by one. It is fine when you are using 2 meters of it, but in my case it was really annoying when I had to peel whole 18 meters of it. Here we are, all the tape is in place and it's time for another task. To increase the sound insulating properties of my new CD shelf, I've decided to stick an acoustic foam that was 1 inch thick on the back of it. I used a hot glue gun to stick it to the backboard. It was quick and easy. I left this gap in between two sheets to accommodate the cables. And now it's about time to connect these cables. Hopefully it's going to be a quick and easy task. First I am connecting the extension that I have modified myself. Originally they were 50 mm long and I had paid $18.59 for 4 of them. I find this price unreasonably high, but if I wanted ready-to-use extensions, I would have paid almost £80 for 4 of them, which is complete rip-off. So my only option was to extend them myself. Then I've used the Y-split, which I have mentioned earlier. The price on Amazon was $17.39 for 2 of them. In my opinion, it's not an adequate price for such a tiny collection of connectors and wires. However, I didn't have time to look for a cheaper option, so I bought them in the end. Next goes the wireless controller and the power cable. After it was successfully linked with the Hue bridge, I could tidy up all the cables. I have used a few blobs of hot glue to keep them in place. When this was done, my bedroom TV and the speakers could take their designated places. If you want to make a comment about these speakers, please don't. I know that they are cheap computer speakers. They are only here so I can occasionally watch TV in the bedroom. If you want to see my main system, please check this video. Alright, now it's time to return another IKEA unit to its place. I believe that now it's quite obvious that the whole wall is used efficiently and no space is wasted. Remember those tiny shelves that I placed between 2 backboards? Let me explain why I needed them there. The problem was that there was no consistent vertical support in the center of the structure. Because of the weight, the upper shelves were bending the ones which were located under. That's why I placed those additional supports right under the upright partitions. This way the weight is distributed more evenly and the CD shelf doesn't lose its shape. Great, now when the structure is completed and most importantly fixed to the wall, I can finally load it with CDs and show you the final result. If you want to liven it up, Philips Hue offers hundreds of color presets which you can tweak yourself even more. I will leave the links for all the products that I've used in the description. Oh, I almost forgot. In terms of sound insulation, I don't have a dB meter, but my personal perception is that it worked quite well. There is less noise coming through that wall. Don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up if you find it useful, and please tell me what you think in the comments below. Your subscriptions are also much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.